Welcome to Narrative and Beyond. I remain your host. My name is Michael Adekombi. I'm continuing. We're continuing from where we stopped in the part one of this episode with Professor Olufemi, and he has said that his name is also Babatunde. So it's Professor Babatunde Olufemi Adebeshi. So I asked the question. Thank you so much, sir, for your time again. And I asked the question before we finish the other parts of this episode, and so for those who didn't join or watch that particular one, I'm just going to ask again. Yeah, because of the space where you play in physics, what can we do? Homegrown solutions that we can bring to bear as a continent of Africa and as a Nigeria, as a Nigerian nation, as a Nigerian federation or state or nation now. Um, what can we do to mitigate natural disasters when they come? Yes, we've not been so exposed to natural disasters as it were, apart from flooding, in some areas. But when it comes to more serious natural disasters, what can we do in terms of homegrown solutions, to mitigate some of these disasters? I think that was that was the last question I asked. What would be your suggestions or your solution, to that?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, the moderator. I want to mention that there is only one solution, and I will expand shade on it. And that solution is to be intentional. It is to be intentional. The Nigeria government they are trying, with respect to my field, under the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, they have the Obasanjo Space Center in Abuja that houses NASDA, that's the National Center for Space Research and Development. And there, they have a lot of facilities, and they have about 7-9 centers across Nigeria that are looking into different areas of space technology. However, there are individuals who are also supporting from outside the country. There could be co-researchers that are also helping with equipment that could measure some of these natural phenomena. I give you an instance. We currently at NASA, there is the optical sky imager in Abuja that measures some variability at nighttime, And outside of that, what these organizations will do, because Nigeria falls within a very interesting zone. We call it the equatorial region. In fact, Africa as a continent has more wider coverage in the equatorial region than any other continent. And while these other continents are studying these effects, they could not study it to the letter at equatorial region. And that's why they're always interested to donate equipment to African countries so that they can make use of it, and the data generated, they can use it to, study these effects. And this is really helping African as a country currently. There is also this group of which I belong to. We call them the triple helix. Triple helix. It's a composition of professionals from the academia, from the industry, and from the government agencies. That's what made it triple. The academia, the industries, and the government agencies. In fact, very soon we are going to have another annual conference. Now, what this triple helix does, or one of their mandates, is bringing these three spheres together so that the need of industry in terms of research can be done in the academia in the universities, polytechnics, and the likes, while the government will give supporting that. Okay. Now, coming back to natural disasters, let me mention this because, like I used to tell people, this geomagnetic storm that I mentioned can generate something we call geomagnetic induced current. We call it GICs. When I was opportune to visit NASA in the US, I was to study it. What they told me there was that I must study within their terrain so that they have more understanding of it from an outsider. Can you get that? Okay. So in the same way, that was why I said we should be intentional. If we are studying anything, yes, we can study outside of Africa, but we should study our immediate environment first. And that's one of my strong research domain. I study across Africa. I get Africa first before I move out of Africa. Now, what government can now do or they could improve upon is to put effective legislation in place such that it will mandate relevant industries to support scientific research. Quite a number of industries, they have some things they want to do, but they do not know how to go to the academia. You know, there are politics in between that.
Yes.
Because the industry, if they give the academia the money, would they be able to get a research activity that will be commensurate to what they give? Okay, so that's another topic entirely. So that's why some industries are withdrawing a bit. But we need to go beyond this. Let me mention this, that as of 2022, this ranking body, we call them ranking royal, specifically mentioned that Nigeria as a country is the highest user of internet in the world. That's after China, India, USA, Indonesia, and Brazil.
Wow.
Now, if we are number 6 and we do not have the necessary equipment in place to mitigate against these natural disasters, and when it comes, you can imagine what will happen to our communication networks. Just like I mentioned in the first episode, that talking about Quebec in Canada, as advanced as they are, or as advanced as they were, when the GIC effect took toll on them, they were without power for so many hours. Okay, now, this also brings me to the issue of pipeline vandalization. We've not been hearing things like that before. Many people believe that it's as a consequence of insurgent action that is leading to that. But the question we've never asked ourselves is, before, has it been like that? To me, it was because those pipes were laid long time ago, and the corrosion effect from GIC's action could have allowed for a little opening. So someone who is passing across that bush path and saw a little opening, we want to widen it. The moment they widen it, they see fuel coming out and they scoop. So it may not be in the original intention of those people to go and do that, because they knew the danger inherent in doing that kind of activity. So something must have opened it up first. Have we, as a country, tried to imagine that? So that's why our government need to put some of this legislation in place that will help industries, okay, to support scientific research.
Wow. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So let me take you a bit further. You've been a you are a provost at present at Hillside University of Science and Technology. You've won many caps within the in your career as a leader, and all of that. What would you say were the most challenges that you have faced as a leader, leading in institutions, leading in academic environment, and of course leading others, leading lecturers, leading academias like you? What would you say were your most challenging moments as a leader, whether when you were at
Okay.
Grandbank University, and currently at Hillside?
All right. Thank you. Well, the most challenging periods has always been, and which will always continue to be, when you are standing for what is right.
Hmm.
Okay? When you
Hmm.
stand for what is right, there are individuals that wants to do it the other way around for personal reasons, for personal gains,
Hmm.
that that you need to do a lot of tussle with,
Hmm.
okay, before you can achieve that. Such category of people are not necessarily interested in the well-being of the workplace. Some may also be interested, but if they do not have a good feel of what you are driving,
Hmm.
then there is a possibility of, you know, trying to look at things from different angles.
Hmm.
But apart from that, one good thing about leadership is when you grow through the ranks, okay, and you have people you train, and you have people that you mentor,
Hmm. Hmm.
then things will be easier for you.
Hmm.
It's not that one or two of them may not want to, go the other
Hmm.
way around, but
Hmm.
it makes things. So let me say, my strength has always been seeing colleagues as a family.
Hmm.
You know, there are ways of doing different things. Let me mention this, that, it is nice to be important,
Hmm.
but it is more important to be nice.
Hmm. Hmm. It is nice to be important, and
It
it
is
is
nice
more
to be
important.
important
Hmm.
to be nice.
Hmm.
You are able as a leader to meet the demands, even outside of office, of your subordinates, then you will definitely win their heart.
Hmm.
You will win their hearts.
So
I
that's
remember
okay.
sometimes,
Okay,
I
please
remember
continue.
sometimes, I remember sometimes in Landmark University, where when I was in charge of a particular office. So when I got to that office, I told the workers I met there that, okay, uh, can we do something? He said, sir, what is it? I said, okay, I'm going to be contributing X%, which is times three of what the next person will be contributing, and will be contributing it at the end of the month for a project. Initially, they want to draw back, but I encouraged them. And at the end of the day, when we were going on all Christmas holiday, I said everything that was that we have contributed,
Contributed.
buy things, yes, buy things with it and share it equally. Then they said, sir, but you contributed almost times three. I said, notwithstanding.
Hmm.
So there are ways. I was in another office where I said, oh, I overheard at them, they were asking themselves, oh, can I get 10K from you? Did they pay? Can I get 5K from you? Did they pay? They were asking themselves. I overheard it. And I told them, okay, let me put down certain amount in the office so that you people can borrow from it. When they pay, you return it back. So there are things you could do outside
Hmm.
of work. And I learned that. Let me give credence to my PhD supervisor, Professor Adeniyi Jacob. When he was supervising me, Baba would go out of academics and ask after your well-being, your family, and all of that. I remember one of those days, I've really worked myself out. And he told me, he said, when last did you see your wife? Because he knew that she said, when last? I said, about 2 weeks ago. He said, you must not return back to your workplace. From here in Ilorin, go back to Ogun State, go and meet your family. You can imagine.
Mm.
So leadership goes beyond workplace.
Mm.
It goes beyond workplace.
Mm.
It also extends to personal interaction,
Mm.
your subordinates, with your colleagues, and with
Mm.
those that are working together with you. So if you are able to put all of those things in perspective, then it will be easier to lead people and
Mm.
lead them around.
Thank you very much. Um, Another question I would like to ask is how do you define excellence? How would you define excellence? And how do you coach others to achieving excellence? That's the people working with you, the people having contact with you. How do you coach them or mentor them towards a life of excellence beyond academia now? Yeah, that's the question. I think it's all
Okay.
right. Let me.
Yes. Excellence. You know, the other time I was talking about success, that the preparation plus opportunity, okay, is success. But excellence is not about scoring high grade.
Hmm.
Excellence is not about building houses and having cars, having family. No, those ones are success.
Hmm.
Excellence, in my own definition, has to do with being relevant.
Hmm.
Being relevant. I'll give
Hmm.
you I'll give you an instance. Um, you know, we all eat with plates. We all eat with plates. When you serve food inside plates, everybody wants the plate.
Hmm.
But the moment you finish the food inside the plate, it becomes an empty plate.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the moment the food finishes,
Hmm. Hmm.
it is not relevant again.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
just throw it anywhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
But so the same way with excellence, you need to be continuously relevant.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay? Now, how will you be relevant among your peers, among your subordinates, among your seniors?
Hmm.
It's by being yourself and standing for what you believe in.
Hmm. Hmm.
Over
Hmm.
time, they will know you with it
Hmm.
and they will respect you for it.
Awesome. Awesome. So what makes the a plate to be relevant in the first place is the content
The
inside the
content,
plate and not necessarily
essential.
the plate itself. If
Exactly.
the plate lacks content, nobody will want to use the
Nobody.
plate, so to say. So what makes a man to live a life of excellence is the relevance, which
You're right.
is embedded in the content that the person has. Mm,
Yes.
mm,
For instance, this is okay. I was telling my technical man, we were putting up a paper together, and I told him, I said, in this year, I've written 4, already been sent out for review. And some of them will ask me that you are already a professor. Why are you writing again? I said, it's for relevance.
mm.
It's for
That's
relevance.
true.
Not
That's
for
true.
promotion. It's for relevance.
That's true.
Period. That's
Mm.
all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just move a bit. For young
Okay.
Africans interested in pursuing research, especially in science and technology, what practical steps could you recommend to young Africans or young professionals or young people who are interested in pursuing research in science and technology? What practical steps would you recommend for them to?
Let me start by saying that quite a number of our young colleagues now who want to go into science research. They want to excel, but they do not want to pay the price.
Hmm.
In one of my seminar presentations somewhere, I mentioned that a young researcher would prefer to spend about 35 minutes brushing his teeth than thinking about how to write the abstract. This scenario, the person is now a professor, is now a professor. As at that time, this person happened to be a senior lecturer, and I was trying to encourage her, put this together, put that together, put this together, and so that you can have a rapid promotion at workplace. And she said, "Sir, I'm coming to see you." And when she came with 12 different research papers. You know, I don't know what was in her mind. Maybe she thought I would be impressed. She had 12 different topics that she was writing on, but none of them completed.
Wow. Wow.
So I told her, I said, I would have been more comfortable with one completed and published than all these 12.
Hmm.
I think that was a turning point for her. Okay, so that's what I noticed about upcoming researchers, that they want to have fame, they want to get position, but they are not ready to give it what it takes.
Hmm.
Giving it what it takes, I'm using glasses today. It's not because I have any issue with my eye. It's because of the constant interaction with the screen of the laptop.
Hmm.
That's a price I paid.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
But if you are a researcher and you want to go to a party and you have to do this and you have to do that, then you cannot. You
Hmm.
cannot. You need to pay a price. You need to pay a price. So it's only after the price is paid. Now, ironically, let me mention this. Many of young researchers that are seeking opportunities of scholarship overseas, especially in the area of sciences. Some will tell you that, oh, I've tried about 13 times, 20 times, even some 30 times that have not been picked. I always encourage them that, okay, do this, do this. So part of what I used to mention is that, have you published? At least publish one or two in a good standard journal.
Journal. Hmm.
Those organizations that want to pick, they will put your name online and they will want to see whether you have any value.
That's true.
The moment they don't see anything attached to you,
Hmm.
then it's a no for them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And some of my mentees got this and they started to do that. Now,
Hmm.
also, why it's important to do research is when you also want to apply for something like that, okay, apart from them checking you up, you also, you want to show that I have an idea about what I want to come and do in your lab outside of Africa. Okay, but without coming up with anything, there's nothing like one of my friends will always say that 0 plus 0 will always be 0.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So you
So
can't build on nothing and
that's
expect
true.
something.
That's true. That's true. It means that again, even beyond the academic world now, it's important that professionals, young professionals, put their works out there where they can be found.
Exactly.
Because it's easier for people to endorse them. It's easier for people to recognize what you've got when you put it out there, because it's not a global world. Through the internet, people can find you, people can see what you are doing and
You are
see.
doing.
Because you'll be shocked. I was surprised when someone told me few days ago that was asking me when we're going to post the next podcast. Just send me a message. I was like, do you also follow the podcast? She said yes. I said, but I've not seen you comment or like. She said no, she did not, but she's been following all the episode. I was surprised, So it's now a global world. So it's very important. It means that it's very important for people to for young people to show their relevance to the world, especially to the world outside of their immediate environment, by putting their works out there.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Thank you so much. We've taken a lot of your time. Maybe I'm just going to ask you one more question. There's
All
more
right.
questions coming to my mind, but I think I'm just going to ask you one or two more questions. So, Prof, what legacy would you like to leave behind? What legacy would you want the next generation to meet about you in your
Okay.
field and outside of your field, not just about your field now? As a person, what legacy would you like to leave behind? That's the first question, so that I won't forget. The second one is, you are a man of faith. How has your faith impacted the man you have become today? Impacted your achievements today? Your global achievement today. That's the second question. So two in one question.
Okay. Thank you. Well, to the first one, the legacy is do unto others what you want them to do to you.
Mm,
At many instances, from my former place of work, when they want to investigate something, maybe at a disciplinary level, they will call upon me that please come and chair this.
mm,
And one day I sat, that why would they always be calling upon me to? Then until someone said they knew that you take a firm decision and they knew that you hide nothing.
mm,
Okay? Because incidentally, my daughter graduated from my former workplace. And when she entered, I told her, I said, come. I said, at one time or the other, I'm always being asked to chair one disciplinary committee or the other. I said, you're my daughter, behave well. If you don't, and they bring you to me, I will do it as if I don't know you.
mm, mm.
So she passed the message to all her friends. All her friends, they behave themselves till they graduated. So it's as good as that.
Mm,
So, and because I would not want to cheat you
mm,
in any way.
mm,
So I would not want you to cheat me.
mm,
So that's where I came from, that do unto others what you expect them to do
to you.
to
Mm,
you.
mm. It's a great principle.
Yes.
Mm,
And exactly. So when your yes, Yoruba language, let me quickly mention that. It says, Bo baje oshaka,
mm,
ojo shaka,
mm,
bo bajo shoko, ojo
mm,
shoko,
mm,
and shoko, ishe, mean
mm.
that let your yes be yes and your
And you
no be
know, be
no.
no. Mm,
A yes, no, and a no, yes is
mm,
not worthy of
mm,
it.
mm.
So then to your second, okay, can you remind me your second
Second question is,
question?
you're a man of faith. So how has your faith impacted the man you have become today? How has your faith
Okay,
helped you to achieve, some of the global achievement that you have today in your field, especially? How has your faith played a role in all of that? That's your faith in God. Yes.
okay, okay, all right. Like it's also attached to the first answer I gave now. It's like someone mentioned, the man walked up my room at my former workplace, said, "You seem to be a man of grace. What is that thing that is working for you?" And came to ask. He said, "What have you been using? You seem to be having it easy." But the reality is, it has not been that easy.
Rosie.
I've met with challenges, one in life and two in my choosing field, but it has always been God. And like I used to say, that work hard as if you don't have a God, and play hard as if you are not working at all. So the place of God cannot be undermined in the journey of a man. There are some secret things that I don't know time may permit, but there are some things that God looks at in a man that he would decide to bless him, that he would decide to walk with him, that he would decide to take him as a son. But that may not be known to other people. And I think it's one of those things that I enjoy in God.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
But
okay.
Just like I mentioned earlier, be good to people. Be good to everyone. And one other thing is being, have a kind of lifestyle that is simple. Be good to yourself. Be good to your family. Be good to people around you. That's at workplace, your neighbors, and be good to God. Those are the 4 areas of interaction that every man will have on this earth. To yourself, to your family, to others, and to God. So once you try your best to be good to all those 4 areas, the message will prevail.
Thank you very much. It's been a whole lot of eye-opening for me today, eye-opening, conversation today. There's been a lot that you have said in your field that I wasn't aware of before, because my own field is different from, is not even your physics area or pure sciences and all of that. I play in the realm of humanities. That's human resources. That's my field. So you said a lot today that we have gleaned from. And another thing that I learned from the last thing you said is that it's important to be upright, and it's important to be a man of integrity, that people will know you for your core values, for your principles, for things that you stand for. And you said again that you can't build something on nothing. It means that you want to build something strong, there must be something at the base. There must be a good foundation for anything you want to build in life. Else it will collapse. If you're trying to build something on nothing, then to collapse. Maybe that's the reason why, not maybe, that's the reason why we see a lot of houses, collapsing today, because they didn't have good foundation. And so when you start building up, when you get to a point, the foundation will not be able to hold the structure you are placing on it, then it collapses. And I think truly, and that's the way it is in life as well, if you don't have solid foundation, like you have mentioned, in God, in your relationship with God, and you don't have foundation in hard work, you've mentioned that a lot today, working very hard to ensure that you don't just rely on God and sleep. You work as if there is no God. You work closely with God as if you're not going to work, so that at the end of the day there is a balance between human effort and divine divine favor, as it were. Thank you so very much, sir. It's been a great time with you on this episode, and then we hope to have you back again so that we can explore some more questions, because we have a lot of questions that I have not been able to ask because of time. Thank you very much, Professor Adibeshi. Thank you, viewers, for staying on. To enjoy this episode. I believe that you have learned something. Thank you very much, and have a great one. This is Narratives and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. Until we come again to your screen, have a safe one and keep learning, keep growing, and ensure that you stay relevant. Like Prof said, he said excellence is about being relevant. So stay relevant. Ensure your content is solid, and don't leave your content, your plate empty, like you mentioned. Don't leave your plate empty. Make sure that your plate has content that can impact your world positively. All right, thank you everyone. Bye.